So I am about to show you a Decipher cards only deck with not one, not two, not three, but 8 Battle Droid blaster rifles in it. This is a Battle Droid deck using the Invasion objective. I played this in a turn. We had a tournament here a week and a half ago. I'm in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and this is my dark side deck that I played. It was first time in about 23 years that I played in a Star Wars CCG tournament, but it was awesome. It was super fun getting back to it. Saturday was a Decipher cards only tournament, and then Sunday was the open format with the new or the virtual cards. And if you guys didn't know that there are new Star Wars CCG cards being made, Google Star Wars CCG Players Committee and check out the website. They are indeed making new cards. You can play in person, you can play online. Anyway, so this is a dark side deck that I played, and so we got 8 Battle Droid blaster rifles, and we've got the Invasion objective. And the Invasion objective lets you play a Naboo system with a blockade flagship there. You play the Naboo swamp, and you play the droid racks. And then for the remainder of the game, you can't play anything except for droid starships. Characters with ability have to have Trade Federation and lore. And then flip this card when you control the Naboo system, and you control the Theed Palace throne room with an Nemoidian there. So we get out. So right away you get out the Naboo system, you get out the blockade flagship, and droid rack. Well, let's go the swamp out there, and then droid racks. And this is a big part of the deck, the droid racks. If your battle droid was just lost, you may place it here, and then during your control phase, you can take 2 force to take any battle droid here into your hand. You know, interesting thing about this deck, this card, is you can do this with multiple battle droids. So you could, if you lose 3 battle droids, you can put them on the droid racks and bring them back, and this really works well for the deck in the long game. And then let's see. So we've got, of course, we got our prepared defenses that lets us play the 3 effects right away. And all right, here's the 2 effects in particular that really make the deck zing. First, we got inconsequential losses. Each of your characters' vehicle starships may forfeit one of its weapons, except a lightsaber. That weapon is forfeit value 3, and then your forfeited weapons go to the use pile. So you can forfeit things like Battle Droid Blaster Rifle for a forfeit of 3, and it goes to the use pile instead of the lost pile. And then here it is, the entire Legion of my best troops. Blaster Rifle, Stormtrooper Utility Belts, and Blaster Scopes are deploy -1 and Destiny +2 when drawn for weapon or battle destiny. That means you draw these lovely Battle Droid Blaster Rifles when you're shooting a Battle Droid Blaster Rifle, and that is an 8, and then plus it gives you a Destiny +1, so you can knock out Jedi with your Battle Droid and a Battle Droid Blaster Rifle. And let me tell you, I don't know that there's anything more fun than that. Knocking out a Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight with a Battle Droid and a Battle Droid Blaster Rifle is super enjoyable. And then, let's see, my third effect that I use is the Fighter Straight Ahead effect. And this gives you Force Charge +1 at systems you control, which, because you get the blockade flagship out and the Naboo system out right away, gives you some extra force early on, and potentially, late into the game too, if they don't want to mess with you at Naboo there. And then this is the defensive shields. So I've started playing with defensive shields lately. Part of the reason is because this tournament, we were allowed to use defensive shields, so everybody was using them because they, there's defensive shields that do things to your opponents to kind of mess with them, make it not so easy for them to do some things and things like that. So, I got the starting effect for the defensive shields in there. Okay, so one of the weak parts of this deck is going to be the space part. So, there's a lot of light side decks that play things like Watch Your Step, play objectives like Hidden Base, and they have very strong space. They have very strong starfighters, and they can come at you pretty hard they come at the blockade flagship pretty hard, pretty early, and it's you got to be careful about that. And one of the neat things about the blockade flagship is it allows you to deploy a Nemoidian pilot aboard from the reserve deck. There are a couple Nemoidian pilots in here. Depending on what you're playing, you may want to deploy those right away. And then here is your other ace in the hole for space battles. I have 3 laser cannon batteries in the deck. These are $15 to $20 uncommons, if you didn't know that. And the reason they're $15 to $20 is, one, they're from the Coruscant set, which, a lot of the cards are kind of rare, but they're hard to find and stuff. But this is a super powerful weapon. You can play it on your starship using X4, or you can target using X-Force, where X equals 0 to 3. Draw a Destiny, subtract 2 if targeting a starship with maneuver. Destiny plus X is greater than defense value. Target hit, and opponent loses 1 force. So, yeah, plus you can play this as React, which is super fun. Somebody puts down a Millennium, comes over with a Millennium Falcon or Red 5 or something like that, initiates combat, and then you throw down this laser cannon battery. And because of the things like the 8 Destiny draws from the Battle Droid Blaster rifles that you got rolling in your deck, and some other high Destiny cards, I mean, it is very, very possible to. It's really not too difficult to knock out, actually hit things like the Millennium Falcon, and so that's why there's 3 of these in the deck, because you kind of want to. In a lot of matchups, you're going to want to have this as early as super early, within the first couple turns, probably, because if somebody's playing against somebody that knows what they're doing, they're going to come at your blockade flagship super early. So anyway, 3 of those in the deck, really good cards. I wanted to point that out early because you want to be able to fight starships well. A couple of the sights, the extra sights in here. So we got Naboo sights. The objective does let you once per turn go get a Naboo sight and deploy it. So we've got a few other Naboo sights here. We got the Theed Palace Courtyard. Pretty much just in here because it gives you 2 force, gives your opponent 1 force. We got the throne room, and the throne room is super important because you have to control the throne room with a Nemoidian, and then you have to control the Naboo system, and then you can flip the objective. So this one you're going to get out pretty early typically. And then we've got the Naboo Theed Palace generator, and so you can do a lot of force draining with this deck. This is a heavy one, gives you a heavy force drain. The throne room gives you a +1 on the force drain if you've got Gunray or Hako there. The swamp gives you a +1 force drain if you've got Battle Droid there. So you can really do some heavy force draining. Once you flip the objective, you can force drain for 2 at Naboo. Okay, so let's say you got the throne room, you got the system down, flip the objective. And this is why you want to flip the objective, because 1, your battle droids apply -1. If you have 2 droids with different card titles, or a droid and a Nemoidian in a battle at a site, you draw 2 battle destiny if unable to otherwise. And then one thing that sometimes I forget is if your opponent drew an interrupt for battle destiny once per battle, you may place that card out of play, which you can start taking out if they draw high destiny cards against you. It's usually going to be interrupts, and you can start taking those out of play. And again, you kind of grind away with this deck in the long game. You're going to probably pull ahead because you're going to be knocking out cards that they have with high destiny numbers. You're going to be pulling battle droids off of your droid racks and having them come back. And you got your blaster rifles that just go to the used pile, and then you can bring those back and those high destiny draws. So in the long game, you're probably going to do well. And I'll say this: the guy that went 4-0 in the tournament we played in, he knows that. He just barely beat me when time ran out. And when time ran out, and I had just cleared off all of his characters from Naboo, and had quite the force on Naboo. Was going to be force draining him for like 6 to 8 a turn. And time ran out, and when time runs out, and you play your last turn, whoever has the most force in your force pile, face down force basically, whoever's the most, ends up winning. And he had just enough force to beat me, which is too bad. A couple more turns, maybe even 1 more turn, and I would have had it. So otherwise, we got the Blockade Starship Bridge, the site that gives you 2 force, doesn't give your opponent any. And then we've got 3 We Must Accelerate Our Plans in here. This allows you to go get the Blockade flagship site, which you want to do as early as possible if you can. Another thing that it does is you can go get an effect from your deck also. So it does a couple of really good things there. Getting into the droids. So I've got a security battle droid, infantry battle droid, this second infantry battle droid. I plan on making a security droid also. The nice thing about this security battle droid is, while with another battle droid at sight, draws 1 battle destiny if unable to otherwise. Because that's a big deal if you don't have the objective flipped. You know, with battle droids, you're not going to be drawing battle destiny unless it tells you, unless they have some sort of ability that lets you draw battle destiny. So he's got it. I actually only have 1 security battle droid, so that's why I don't have 2 in the deck, and I had to put this infantry battle droid in there instead. So anyway, and then we've got a couple of battle droid officers. So we've got a couple of we've got some of these non-unique battle droids in there, and there's a reason for that. So battle droid officer, and then we've got some unique. I do have a few unique battle droids in here, mostly because again all these ones in here have this ability where if they can draw 1 battle destiny if unable to otherwise. So I've got these 3 here, and then we've got OW01 with backup, and he's, this is the squadron of battle droids basically, but if OW1 is with a battle droid at a site, it draws 2 battle destiny if unable to otherwise. The other nice thing is opponent's force drains are -1 at adjacent sites, so you can put him on one of those middle sites in Naboo, and if your opponent's next to him trying to force drain, it'll reduce it by 1. It's really nice. There they are. This is an important card, an important interrupt in the deck. Not only does it have a 5 destiny, but you can take a non-unique battle droid into your hand from your reserve deck, and then it gives you a little bonus on power too if you want to use it that way. But use interrupt. Got 3 of these in here to go get those battle droids out of the deck. Switch off. This is one of the best combat cards in the deck, so cancel any attempt to steal, destroy, or capture one of your droids. So not only does this have a 6 destiny number, but if somebody wants to target one of your droids, one of your battle droids with a weapon, you can play this, and it essentially cancels their targeting with the weapon. So 3 of those in here. This is a super important card, really good. We've got the real strong, the real strength to the deck. 3 Lord Mauls. Just he's too strong. I've got one of his lightsabers in here. If you get a Lord Maul and a lightsaber out there, he pretty much can dominate a site by himself. He has Trade Federation in the lore, that's why you can play him. Lord Sidious also Trade Federation in the lore. And, immune to attrition, first of all. Does some neat stuff if opponent loses a Jedi. Place that out of play. That does come in handy also. So I got 2 him in here. Then we got the Nemoidians. So I've got Rune and we got Newt. They're pretty good. They're pretty good in battling actually. Hopefully they're one of these 2 you can get down at the throne room. And then we've got Dalte and Te Hao, and these 2 are both really good for piloting the battleship. Dalte gives the battleship immunity, attrition less than 5. Te, you can use force to cancel or reduce force drains at a system within 2 parsecs of Te Hao. So he is pretty good if your opponent wants to try and force drain at some systems but doesn't want to battle you. He can definitely help reduce in their force drains. And then we've got the Phantom Menace, makes Maul really strong, and also when Maul's out, allows you to go get a Nemoidian from your deck. Plus, of course, it's got a destiny number of 7. So really good card. This, this could definitely be used as a starting effect instead of the fighter straight ahead potentially. Sniper and Dark Strike, so many weapons in this deck. Get a little tricky with this card, do some things that'll really torque off your opponents. Maul Strikes, and this lets you, adds battle destiny with Maul, but then also lets you go get lightsaber, Maul's lightsaber too. So that's why there's 2 of those in there. Guck, just in case somebody does do something and kind of blows up a site that you've got. The battle droids can be a bit weak to some things, and so got to have a Guck in there in case somebody blows you out at a site. That'll save you from losing 10, 15 force sometimes in a battle that goes the wrong way for you. Weapon of Ungrateful Son. This is kind of some tricky tech stuff here. Not only does it let you get rid of a lightsaber if it was used to enhance the force drain, but the lost part of it. Place any of all your devices and character weapons on table in your use pile. This is kind of a tricky. I feel like this is kind of some tricky tech for kind of late game where maybe you've got a couple Battle Droid blaster rifles out there that you maybe don't need that much, but you would love to get them back into your deck so that you can draw them for weapon or battle destiny. And that's exactly what this will allow you to do, so that's why I've put that in there. I added this after the tournament. I definitely wish that I had used that in the tournament. And then we've got TT6, and one nice thing about TT6 is lets you go get a Battle Droid leader from your deck to deploy at the same site as TT6, so something good for those like the swamp, for example. Maybe get this down there and start building an army there at the swamp. The Battle Droid officers are leaders, and then the OW01 with backup is also a leader. So if you can get this down and go get OW01, that's great. Not only that, but this is a droid too, so put this down with one other droid, different name, and you get the objective flipped. You can draw 2 battle destiny there, so that's pretty sweet. So yeah, that's my Battle Droid deck. It's pretty fun. I definitely enjoy playing this deck a lot, almost as much as my AT-AT deck. So yeah, let me know if you guys think you have any ideas on things to make it better. I'm always open to that. Otherwise, see if I got some more decks to show you guys here. I do have another light side deck that I can show you sometime soon. So thanks.